If doing more was the answer to quantum jumping, you would already be living on that timeline. The answer to quantum jumping is not more effort. It's not taking more actions that you are taking. It's not ramping things up. It's not even clearing one more limiting belief. Even though clearing limiting beliefs is a part of quantum jumping, it's not continuing to dig for more of what's wrong. It's not about doing more. I'm going to explain why your quantum jump isn't working and what you need to do instead. I'm Alyssa, and I remind you that this timeline is optional. Quantum jumping is about shifting three things. There's a version of you that has what you want: the dream home, the dream relationship, the dream job, the dream body, and there's you now. And there's a gap. And the gap is about identity, belief systems, and beliefs about reality in general, and identity. Once you switch those three things to match more of what this version of you is vibrating, believing, thinking about themselves and their self concept, you will merge with the version of you that's already living in. Quantum jumping is about choosing a desired reality based on what you're believing about reality, the frequency you're admitting, and who you are being. When you quantum jump, you don't go to bed in a shitty apartment going through a breakup like I was, and you just wake up the next day in your dream home with your soulmate. You have to become that version of you, and you become them in identity, in belief systems, and in vibrational frequency. There is action that needs to be taken sometimes, and a lot of spiritual people don't like hearing this. But the reason why action gets such a bad rap, because it doesn't matter if you take more actions in the old vibration and identity, it's not gonna work. This is why a lot of people that work the most hours, that do the most work, if you've ever waited tables or worked in a bar and are not making the most money, or even like people on call centers, I don't know. People that work the most hours, that have like three jobs, are generally not making the most money. There is a lot of wealthy people that make a ton of money, and they make it because the energy that they are in, the beliefs they have about themselves and reality. Yes, there's systems that they set up or whatever, but it's really about the frequency of who they are. They chose to have a desired reality. It's the same with like fitness. Do you ever notice that some people say like, "Oh, when you get older, like you're going to be in worse shape," or they have beliefs about like aging and stuff? I was in good shape in my 20s. I'm in the best shape I've ever been in my life. I'm the healthiest I've ever been. I love my body the most because I don't believe that getting older is declining. I've actually like found workouts that work better for me. I feel my body burns calories more. I have these belief systems about health and like about vitality that some other people at the same age as me might not believe, and so that their bodies would decline. What you believe about reality is what's reflected back to you. What you believe about relationships is what's reflected back to you, who you are being. So, quantum jumping is about acting from the identity and the energy you're putting behind something. Even if you're taking actions to get the thing that you want, if it's like a work thing or going out on dates, but it's like, who are you being in that action? The things that you're doing right now to get what you want, to manifest what you want, that version of you is probably not even doing, because they have different possibilities available to them. They're thinking different thoughts. The way they're thinking about going about what they want is different. And because they already have what you want, they're taking actions as the version of them that has it. If you are taking actions to get what you want, there might be some physical actions you have to take in this physical world to get the job that you want, or to go out on a date, or to get the fit body or whatever. But you have to take it from the energy of the version of you that already has it. If you're going out and like trying to apply for your dream job, you have to apply in the energy of someone that already has the job or already has a better job and doesn't even need this job. If you're going out on a date and you're wanting to attract your person, you have to go out in the energy of someone that is already chosen, that has their soulmate timeline, that trusts that the universe is bringing the right person to them. And you're like not going out with that desperate energy. You have to have the energy of someone that knows that they're on their soulmate timeline. And whether it's this person or the next person, the universe is going to figure that out. You have to have that within yourself, that you are already the version of you that has it. And how do you do this? You do this by going in your mind a couple times a day and visiting that reality. I like to do it with music, but you have to visit that reality with feeling and feel what it feels like to be the confident version of you that has the dream job, to feel like the sexy, loved version of you that's with your soulmate, to feel like the version of you that has more than enough money. And once you start to imagine that on your mind, 90 seconds each, you got to, every time you do it for 90 seconds, but do it multiple times a day. You start to believe in that reality more than you believe in this reality. And you start to trust that the unfolding of your life is going to take you to that reality. So you are not going to have the desperate energy of someone that's trying to get a job or trying to get a date or whatever. Desperation is like one of the worst vibrations to be admitting, because you're telling the universe, I need this because I don't have it. And that is lack. And whenever we're vibrating at the frequency of lack, we're going to get more of not having what we want, because you get what you focus on and what you believe is already yours, even if you first have to believe it in your mind. The other thing is that version of you either let go of things that are currently in your life that are not a vibrational match, or things that are in your life that are not a match were not even in their conscious awareness because they are operating at a higher vibrational frequency than you. One of the steps of quantum leaping is releasing and letting go of things. And this can be friendships, relationships, places you lived in. Had to move 2 times before I got to my dream home, but that is because I kept vibrationally I mean, I moved way more than 3 times. I've moved like 20 times since I lived in LA. But during my 2 biggest quantum jumps, one of the messages that I kept getting was I had to move out of the environments I was in, because I kept upgrading my frequency, where I was not a match for the homes I was living in. I was not a match for the cities I was living in. The first house, I was not a match for the people I was living with, because the version of me would not live in a city that she didn't like. She wouldn't live in the energetic frequency that I was living in with the people I was around, who I was a match for when I first lived there. But you have to release and let go of things. Sometimes it's getting rid of old clothes, because the version of you probably dresses vastly different than you. You have to start to see yourself differently. It can be ending friendships that are not with people that are not at a high frequency. That happens a lot on the spiritual path. But one of the things you have to do is let go of things. And one of the things you have to do is let go of how you used to see yourself. Because that version of you believes in you, knows you're worthy, is excited about life, and doesn't have these stupid limiting beliefs that we've all carried on. I had a very powerful NLP experience yesterday where a friend worked through a block that I was having identity wise. And I didn't even realize that I was like carrying we're carrying stuff that's not even ours. And the minute she literally took me through like a 5-minute NLP technique. And then yesterday I was able to step so much further into this other identity, and had like a major shift based on taking action as the version of me that I'd been trying to take for like a couple months. But because I was still holding on to these stupid old beliefs that I wasn't even aware of, I was still holding on to an old way that I saw myself. I was not able to step forward into the new identity of the next layer of life that I'm quantum jumping to. Because we have these beliefs, and when we're holding on to these ways we see ourselves, and we're holding on to like beliefs about why things can't work out for us, it feels very heavy. So you're taking a lot of action and nothing's happening. One, because it's too heavy. So it's like slogging through mud where you can't even take like a good amount of action. It takes so long for anything to happen. And two, your frequency is not a match for that reality. The frequency I was holding on was like heavy and not believing in myself about one area of life. And then literally it flipped me, and I had the most amazing day yesterday taking aligned actions that this version of me on the next timeline is taking on a daily basis. And I felt so free. So another thing you need to do is let go of limiting beliefs. You need to identify, what are you believing that's bullshit? Because like all beliefs to some degree are limiting. I believe if we believed that we could, we probably could fly, but that's not a belief I'm like need to change now or at all. But the point is, you have beliefs about yourself. You see yourself in a certain way that is not correct. You are literally stardust. Your desires are meant for you. What you desire is meant for you. That parallel timeline version of you is calling you with desire. If you desire something, you're meant to live that out. You deserve to live it out. So get clear on what the fuck you're telling yourself about why it's not possible for you, why you don't deserve it, and how you see yourself. Identity work is also about, it's not about adding more. It's about getting back to the core of who you really were. When you were a kid, you knew what you wanted unapologetically. We knew that we were meant to manifest or quantum leap to the realities where we had what we wanted. We had a desire for something and we knew that it was supposed to unfold for us. And the reason it's not unfolding is because we stay in these limiting realities. We continue to create the same reality over and over again until we actually see ourselves differently, shift our beliefs, and raise our frequency to feel like we already live in that reality. So go back to when you were a kid and you knew that you deserved to have what you wanted. Why? Because you wanted it. If you desire something, there's a version of you on another timeline that's living it, which means it's very possible for you. You have to see yourself differently with identity. You have to take micro actions from the energy of the person that already has it, not from the energy of I want it. That's desperate, that's lack, and that's going to continue to keep that reality away from you. You have to do things on a daily basis to feel better, that is what raising your frequency is. Feel better about your life. And if you're holding on to a lot of heavy limiting beliefs, environments that aren't good for you, people that are not vibrationally equipped to where you're headed, if there's things in your life that version of you would not tolerate or would not have, it's time to let go of them. I promise you, the universe will replace it with something better. But all this heavy stuff we're holding is keeping us tethered to this reality. The limiting beliefs are tethering us, the environments that are not conducive to us vibrating higher because they continue to make us feel bad. And so because we feel bad, then our reality looks bad. And then we feel more bad because reality is just responding to you. And the thoughts and feelings about yourself. See yourself differently, raise your vibrational frequency, and believe in the reality that you desire. That is one of the number one things I did to Quantum Jump was I believed so much in this reality because I was visiting it on a daily basis that I was like, oh, this is my life. And now it is my life. Believe in that reality. Visit it on a daily basis for 90 seconds at a time with music, preferably, because that'll help you feel like what you want. The feeling is the secret to quantum jumping. If there's something you desire, there's a parallel timeline where you are already living that. Get clear on the gap between that version of you and this version of you. Do things to move yourself incrementally and close that gap, and you will jump timelines. Remember, this timeline is optional. Much love.